Alright, the celebrity news at the moment is crazy. Katy Perry has been called out for mom shaming. Jake Paul and tons of celebrities have been charged in the biggest crypto scandal of the year. And Demi Lovato's sister has opened up about her battle with substance use. First up, the Katy Perry hate reached an all-time high earlier this month when a video went viral of her making fun of a 25-year-old American Idol contestant for having 3 kids. Sarah Beth was all smiles when she came onto the show for her audition, but she probably didn't expect to get bullied for being a young mom. Judges Lionel Richie and Luke Bryan were both pretty rude, but most people could agree that Katy Perry was being straight up condescending. Before Sarah even started singing, Katy started openly mocking her. She told them a little bit about her life and revealed that she'd given birth to 3 kids before the age of 25. In response, Katy pretended like she was going to faint, and when Sarah suggested that she was going to lay on the table, Katy shot back saying, "You've been laying on the table way too much." This particular line came off as offensive and rude. She was probably just trying to make a joke about how she couldn't understand women who have kids that young. After all, Katy had her daughter when she was 36. But still, there was just no need to openly mock a woman just because she chose a different life. Unfortunately, the rudeness continues well into Sarah's audition. She started singing "You Know I'm No Good" by Amy Winehouse, but she was quickly interrupted by Katy, who shouted in the middle of her performance saying, "Come on, we need more." And when she did finish singing, Katy didn't even clap for her. Instead, she just told her that it was not enough and instructed her to pick a different song. Now, you could just say that she's doing her job, but she clearly took things a little too far. Thankfully, fans were quick to call her out on it. One person wrote, "I counted 4 rude comments that Katy said to her, and she just kept keeping on. What a humble soul." Another person said, "I don't know how everyone is just realizing this, but she's been bullying contestants like this since she's been on here. It's like she gets jealous or something. So weird." Another user wrote, "Katy's comment about her being on the table too much was so disgusting, coming from a woman especially. Sarah is amazing." Although she stayed silent for a couple of days, Sarah Beth eventually spoke out about the incident on TikTok. She called out the blatant mom shaming that she was experiencing. She posted a video admitting that she found Katy's joke hurtful and said that it was embarrassing to get mocked by her on TV. She said, "At the start of my audition before I sang, I mentioned that I had 3 children and was a young mother, and Katy Perry made a joke that wasn't super kind." Sarah went on to encourage her followers to support and uplift young parents. She said, "I think that mom shaming is super lame. It's hard enough to be a mom and it's hard enough to be a woman. Keep loving your babies. No one deserves to feel crappy about that." Reactions to this latest incident are a pretty good indicator of Katy Perry's popularity right now. Someone posted a photo of her on Twitter and said, "We as a society failed her, because how did she go from being the biggest pop star on the planet to an American Idol judge?" As you could expect, the comment section was filled with people trying to work out what happened to her career. One user wrote, "When she cut her hair in the Witness era, it was over. I firmly believe that haircut put the nail in the coffin of her career. It was just so bad, and it didn't help that 90% of Witness was terrible." Another user tweeted, "I mean, she was also pushing a Republican for LA mayor, so she sort of got what was coming to her." But the answer is probably a lot more simple than that. The thing is, her last 2 albums completely flopped. In fact, it was so bad that in 2020, after the release of Smile, her label held a focus group to try and figure out why she was no longer one of the most notable female pop artists. They asked the group for advice on what to do with her image and marketing to try and make people care about her again. But Katy's fall from the top was always about more than just her fading star power. It says a lot more about the changing nature of pop music and the industry as a whole. She hasn't faded into obscurity entirely, but it's really telling that the only time you hear about her these days is when something's happened on American Idol. Although there's no need to feel too sorry for her. Just because her music isn't topping the charts anymore doesn't mean she isn't making bank. She's still one of the highest paid entertainers in the world and has been for over a decade. At the moment, she makes $25 million per season on American Idol. So yeah, she's doing just fine. And now, can we talk about the fact that all these celebrities have just been linked together in this messy crypto scandal? The SEC has come down hard and charged 8 celebrities with illegally touting cryptocurrencies. And can you guess who made the list? So they've charged Lindsay Lohan, Jake Paul, Soulja Boy, Lil Yachty, Akon, Neo, Austin Mahone, and Kendra Lust. These people all promoted crypto without disclosing that they were being paid to do it. The celebrities have now agreed to pay a total of more than $400,000 all to settle the charges. Lindsay paid $10,000 to the SEC and then another $30,000 in penalties, while Jake Paul, on the other hand, was ordered to pay more than $100,000. At the head of all of this was a guy called Justin Sun, a crypto investor and protege of Jack Ma, who is the 8th richest man in China. Justin was also accused of fraud for artificially inflating the price of the coins coins that they were touting by making it seem like they were actively being traded. This is a crime known as wash trading. The SEC claims that he orchestrated a promotional campaign where he and all the other celebrities would hide the fact that they were being paid to tweet. They released a statement saying, "This case demonstrates again the high-risk investors face when crypto asset securities are offered and sold without proper disclosure." So why would celebrities even be a part of something like this in the first place? Well, it turns out that the paycheck was pretty good. Lindsay was paid $10,000 to post one single tweet, and Jake Paul was paid $25,000 for the same thing. With a bigger following comes a bigger payday. Last year, Kim Kardashian was paid $250,000 to make an Instagram post about EMAX tokens. But obviously it wasn't worth it because she ended up paying $1.26 million to the SEC. On the 21st of June, Kim made a post on Instagram saying, "Are you guys into crypto? This is not financial advice, but sharing what my friends told me about the Ethereum Max token." While it seems pretty obvious that she was paid to write that, I mean, she even included the hashtag ad, the SEC said that her 225 million Instagram followers weren't properly made aware that she was being paid. Now, Kim did the exact same thing as all the other celebrities, so why was she fined so much money? Well, it's because her audience reach is massive. They also wanted to make an example out of her to prove that they are taking a tougher stance against celebrities. Apart from the fine, Kim also agreed not to promote any crypto securities for the next 3 years. At the time, SEC Chair Gary Gensler said, "This case is a reminder that when celebrities or influencers endorse investment opportunities, including crypto asset securities, it doesn't mean that those investment products are right for all investors." He also tweeted that any celebrity or influencer's incentives aren't necessarily aligned with yours, and the public shouldn't confuse the skills of celebrities with the very different skills needed to offer appropriate investment advice. But does this mean that celebrities will finally stop pushing crypto? Hopefully, because at the moment the risk definitely outweighs the reward. So many big names have been caught. Floyd Mayweather and DJ Khaled both paid fines for pushing crypto. Floyd was paid $300,000 and was fined over $600,000, while DJ Khaled was paid $50,000 and was fined $150,000. If you want more proof that celebrities and crypto don't mix, just look at what happened to Logan Paul. He got exposed big time for trying to con his fans into an NFT crypto scam. Apparently the game was pitched as a way for people to earn passive income, but literally everyone who invested ended up getting bamboozled. Except for Logan and his team, of course. Back in August of 2021, he announced his new project Crypto Zoo, where players were supposed to buy an egg using the game's tokens. This egg would then hatch into an animal that they could then breed with another animal to make a hybrid, which they could then sell. But the only problem is the game never worked. People lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because they bought into it. So it's best to stay away from that kind of thing unless you really know what you're doing. And now, in a shocking bit of news, Demi Lovato's 21-year-old sister Madison De La Garza has opened up about her struggles with addiction. In a candid new interview, Madison opened up about dealing with substance use like her older sister. Thankfully, she's been sober now for 8 months, and she says that she's 248 days into her journey of recovery. She spoke to E! News about what pulled her into that world in the first place and how she got out of it. Madison said, "I went through a lot of things last year that made me want to stay in bed, made me want to hide from the world. My best friend was substances, and it disconnected me from those around me." Madison only realized that she had a problem when it started impacting her relationship with her friends and her mom. That's when she knew that she had to make a change. Fortunately, it was not something that she had to deal with alone. Her older sister Demi has been very open about her own struggles with addiction, and that's something that inspired Madison to get help. She said, "I would have never ever done that if it wasn't for her. I think her honesty, her bravery, and being 100% honest and open, being an open book is what drives me." Demi gave her little sister a lot of advice in this area, but even better than that is the fact that she leads by example. Now that she's sober, Madison says she feels free and the world seems lighter and more colorful. The young actress is now dedicating her time to helping others who are going through similar struggles and supporting the sobriety of her friends and family. She was obviously very inspired by Demi's journey to sobriety, which is something that's been well documented over the years. On the surface, it might seem like a simple story. She experimented with substances in her youth until she eventually got hooked on the heavier stuff. She then OD'd and ended up in hospital. But Demi's battle with addiction was actually a lot darker and scarier than most people realize. The incident in 2018 almost ended her life and left her with long-term health complications. In her documentary Dancing with the Devil, she revealed that she was left with irreparable brain damage, and she will have to deal with those effects for the rest of her life. It caused 3 strokes, a heart attack, and organ failure. She had pneumonia from asphyxiating on her own vomit. When she woke up in the hospital's intensive care unit, Demi was legally blind. It took about 2 months for her to recover recover enough eyesight just to read a book. That never fully went away. These days she said she can't actually drive a car because of the blind spot she has on her vision. And if you thought things couldn't get any worse, the dealer who sold her the substances that night ended up SAing her when she was unconscious. He then left her for dead. So like I said, this incident was actually a lot worse than you might have thought. The person who found Demi was her assistant and close friend Jordan Jackson. She was coming to wake her up for an appointment only to find that she was unresponsive in her bed. Because her entire body was blue, Jordan thought that she was dead, but she still called 911 despite the fact that Demi wished to keep everything as secret as possible. In the hospital, she was administered with an emergency antidote, but the doctors believed that she only had 5 to 10 more minutes to live. In the documentary, Demi said, "I've dealt with a lot of repercussions, and I feel like they are still there to remind me of what could happen if I ever get into a dark place again. I'm so grateful for those reminders, but I'm so grateful that I was someone that didn't have to do a lot of rehabbing. The rehabbing came on the emotional side." She recognizes that her issue with substance use will be a lifelong battle, and that's something that she works at every single day. Of course, she still experiences dark moments from time to time, but she has come a long way spiritually and emotionally. Thankfully, since that fateful incident, Demi has learned to love herself and do things that contribute to her health and happiness. So what do you guys think about that latest story? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.